South Africa, also known as the Rainbow Nation, known for its diverse culture and having a total of 11 official languages. The country that gifted the world Tyla, Trevor Noah, and of course, Amapiano. I couldn't imagine a greater country to live in. South Africa has been through a lot, politically, socially, and economically. And in all that chaos, us South Africans, we just need a break. We just need something that will help us escape from all the negativity. And that's where South African comedy comes in. Hi, hello, lovely people, and welcome back to the channel. Just before we get started, I wanted to flex really quickly. I got a Jiu-Jitsu high school t-shirt from Otakon 2025. And if you guys have not watched that vlog, you should watch it after this video. I just wanted to flex that shirt real quick because why not? And now without further ado, let's get into the video. Stars like Desmond Dube, Leon Schuster, Kenneth Ngozi, Trevor Noah, and the list goes on and on. Comedy really dominated the entertainment industry in South Africa. And if we think about the country state, it kind of makes sense why. So allow me to take you back to a dark time in the country called apartheid. Now, apartheid was racial segregation in South Africa, and it just ended about like 31 years ago. The scars are still a little fresh. When apartheid ended, comedy really gave us that safe space where we could just forget about the dark times and kind of poke fun at it. Comedy has been an instrument of popular protest and social transformation since the anti-apartheid movement. And it is influential due to its environment, creating an almost absolute freedom of speech. Because when you think about it, you can actually get away with almost anything in South African comedy. South Africa is one of the few countries where we openly joke about race and politics, as long as the material's good and we can get a good laugh out of it. The main reason why comedy in South Africa isn't the same as it used to be is because race is the core for some comedians across the country. When we came out of apartheid, we were all learning about these new cultures and beliefs, and comedy was a great way to learn about them and also how they struggled throughout the apartheid era. Trevor Noah is a prominent figure in the South African comedy field, with race and ethnicity being at the core of his comedy. Trevor Noah is mixed race, with his mom being black and his dad being white. He was born in a time where interracial relationships and marriages were illegal. Through his comedy, he gave us his perspective on what it was like to grow up as a mixed race child throughout racial segregation. So much so that he rose to fame and became the first African to host The Daily Show, rising to international success, and wrote a book on his perspective on what it was like to grow up through that time. I believe the race jokes aren't as funny as they used to be before because we used it as a coping mechanism to kind of poke fun at the racial segregation that we just came out of. And now with the internet and us having more cultural and global awareness, certain stereotypes are just not as acceptable as they were before.
The Indians must have felt like on that day. Next thing you know, the British showed up on horseback.
What is the name of this land? This land over here? This is called India. Well, my good man, I am here to tell you that India is now under the British Empire. And I'm glad that I can tell you that India is exactly where it was yesterday.
And in case you're wondering, yes, Xhosa is one of the languages with the clicks in it, right? Xhosa, Xhosa, but not like in American movies, just so you know. Yeah, I've seen those movies where they have Africans and they're like, that's not a language. Yeah, even we watch those movies and we're like, I wonder what they are saying, yeah?
The line for racial jokes is very thin. Where do we stop? Like, where is it? Okay, this is funny enough, but also we should stop. South Africa is a young democracy, with it only being 31 years of age. We have a lot of political problems: corruption, lack of proper resources, money being used for what it's supposed to. I could go on and on and on and we'd be sitting here all day. Former President Jacob Zuma has always been the butt of every South African comedian's joke, especially when it comes to South African comedy. He is the most obvious go-to. I've probably heard every single Jacob Zuma joke under the sun by now.
Telling me about acronyms and hyphenated words. Wah, wah, wah. Acronym. If scuba is the acronym for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, then Zuma must be the acronym for zero understanding of moral affairs. Isn't it, Auntie?
President Jacob Zuma became president of South Africa in 2009, which is crazy because I was 4 years old at that time. You know what the crazy thing is when I was doing research for this video, I found out that Jacob Zuma has been sketchy even before he became president. Allegedly. So far as I know, he is still going on trial for some of these stuff. So allegedly, President Thabo Mbeki dismissed President Jacob Zuma while he was deputy president due to the fact that his financial advisor has been giving him underhanded payments for the arms deal, a large-scale corruption that was said to equip the South African armed force with weapons post-apartheid. He was also acquitted with rape charges, allegedly. And please note that this was all before he became president. There's also a lot more, but again, we could sit here all day and talk about it. But Zuma's controversy doesn't stop there. In 2014, he improperly benefited his homeland in KwaZulu-Natal, Kandla. And then in 2016, the Constitutional Court ruled that Jacob Zuma has failed to uphold the Constitution. And in that same year, he got busted for another corruption case with the Gupta family. Now, Jacob Zuma isn't all bad, so we'll highlight the few goods that he has done for the country. He did admit South Africa to the BRICS, which is a major W for us. And he was also praised for his HIV and AIDS policy. But his controversies do outweigh the good that he has done for the country. Jacob Zuma isn't the only controversial political leader. South Africa is a multi-party government with some, if not many, controversial leaders, which leads to our parliament meetings to look something like this.
Shut up, you stay and listen.
I will murder you.
I thought the EFF is not in the house today.
Nkandla. Thixo waseGeorge Cook.
He's still sleeping.
Honorable member.
She's still, I don't know what's happening.
When people zol, they put saliva on the paper and then zol.
Can only come and say,
Honorable
Van Riebeck. He overstayed.
Van Riebeck arrived 2,000 years ago.
Honorable member,
I think she's confusing
Honorable member, take your seat, please.
Thank
Now that you have an idea of what our South African government looks like, you can understand why, other than race, politics is the next go-to. And it honestly did for a very long time help us divert from the actual problem at hand, which is the fact that we did not have a proper government system. And it is failing us miserably, which is why I agree with this statement written by the ResearchGate in their article. Comedy is used to distract, divert from reality, allowing a temporary escape that slows down the raising of awareness. Now, I'm not fully 100% blaming comedians for the political state of the country. I'm just saying that because of the fact that we're so used to joking about the political situation, we weren't really aware of how bad the situation was until it was too late. While comedians were having a field day mocking our political leaders, we weren't truly aware of how bad the state of our government was. Now our economic state is even worse than before. We have a very high unemployment rate, and basic education is still a struggle for some part of the country. This method of using comedy as a coping mechanism avoids us from actually taking things seriously. While we could have been sitting down and thinking of ways to actually come up with solutions for the problems, we just laughed about it until it was too late. My conclusion, I believe, the reason why South African comedy isn't as big as before is because as a nation, we're just tired of ignoring it anymore. We can only laugh about it for a certain amount of time. And it's becoming less funny now once the problem gets so big that now it's starting to affect you. I mean, imagine like you're just sitting there unemployed and you turn on the TV and a comedian is making a joke about the unemployment rate. You won't really find that funny. Even jokes about race. I mean, apartheid was 31 years ago. Most of us, we're still learning about it in school. It's mostly the head topic for our history subject because it was such a big part. And some of us have grandparents or parents that were still alive during that time. Apartheid has been shoved down our throats for like so long. We know about it. We want to move on from that. Now we've reached the point where we can't laugh about things as much as we used to anymore. We want solutions. We are still learning how to unlearn using comedy as a coping mechanism. But anyways, that's all for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys learned something new, and make sure to check out some of my other videos. I got a whole bunch of other stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out my other social media. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.